Welcome, all of you. This is our 6th Nordic Growth Hackers event. We had a break during the summer, but we're back now in full force. We're going to do it every 3 months, like usual. Today we have 4 really interesting speakers talking about actual growth hacks and talking about the structure of growth and what really drives growth. So we hope we're going to have a pretty interesting mix of different viewpoints on growth today. Typically, I say a few words, try to be very simple about some aspect of growth before we start. I thought we could do a small hack of that form today and actually instead have you tell us about growth. One thing that I find very interesting is to actually think about what drives growth. And when we see the fantastic growth cases, it's always very easy to explain what they did well. But if you're in the opposite situation, if you're a founder or an investor, how do you pick a team or a product or a business that actually creates growth? To my opinion, that's a really hard problem. There's no end to the blogs you can read about growth and all the things you ought to do. And there's an infinite list of things that are important. But what's really important, what really does drive growth, that's a hard question. And that's the question I'm going to ask you, basically, today. We're going to see what you say, and we're going to have the speakers comment on it. So there's going to be some kind of dialogue going on during the event on what actually drives growth. So my question to you is, imagine that you're a founder or that you're an angel investor, and you're trying to pick the founders or the businesses that you think will succeed. What are the criteria that you would use for making that pick? So what are the key things that will determine the success in building a real scalable company? I'm not saying something that gets an investment or a seed funding. I'm saying a real scalable company, real success. And I'm also saying scalable. So it's not just your friend or your cousin buying the product, it's actual people in numbers. What drives that? What's the key ingredients to find that? And I've listed a lot of things that you will find everywhere that you read. Founder resilience, founder optimism, founder charisma, founder domain knowledge, founder education, networking, strength of the idea, strength of the product, strength of the brand, size of the market, timing, ability to focus, ability to pivot, focus on sales or distribution, focus on PR, focus on customers, focus on product, focus on culture, luck, execution, working 24/7, funding, early revenue, and continuous validation. I mean, there's not one of these things that you won't find in numerous blogs as the explanation. So what I'm asking you is, if you can pick 3 things out of this slide, what really drives growth? And what we're going to do is, you're going to take out your phone, you're going to navigate to bit.ly/NGH for Nordic Growth Hackers, ANS for answer. And then you pick 3 choices and press send or answer or whatever the button says. And the URL is here as well, so that you can keep remembering it. Then we're going to see what comes out. And for the 4 speakers, please think about your answer or answers, because once you finish your talk, I'm going to ask you whether you agree or have a completely different theory, so that we get this dialogue going. Okay, so let's start concluding. There's a lot on resilience. There's a lot on execution. There's a lot on focus on customers. Networking comes in, which is nice, of course, given that we're networking today. Continuous validation, focus on sales. It's pretty widespread. There's not just one explanation of one thing that everybody agrees on. So it's going to be interesting to see what the investors say. I actually have I have sales and timing and market size, so I'm definitely not in the higher scores here. So anyway, that was my part of the session. Before we start with the speakers, Marie from Copenhagen Tech Fest is going to say just a little bit about what the Tech Fest is, which is we are actually part of this time.
Yeah. Hope you can all hear me. I'm not wearing a microphone. I'm basically just here to inform you that right now you're not only part of Nordic Growth Hackers, you're part of something much bigger, because September to a few cool tech startups, SimpleSite being one of them. The other guys are right behind me. We launched the first tech festival in Copenhagen. We're calling it Copenhagen Tech Fest. And basically what we did is inviting lots of startups, lots of institutions, schools, meetups, whatnot, to pitch in with their best events, showing how they work with tech and how they innovate in tech. The result is a month-long program going on right now, yes, this moment, and you're attending one of them, with 44 events in more than 30 venues all over town. We are on the final stretches of our festival right now, but I will still encourage you to go to our website and check out our program. It's called cphtechfest.org, and you can follow all the events during our hashtag. So why are we doing this? I think I speak for SimpleSite and the rest of the partners when I say that we have some pretty great stories to tell in this city. I'm sure you come from different universities and startups where you drive innovation yourself. But we might not be the biggest tech startup in the world, and we sure are not the biggest city in the world. So the idea with TechFest really is to get together on one platform and make as much noise as we possibly can to show the rest of the world what it is we got going here. So a big invitation to go and join the rest of the events, but also a big invitation for those of you that have good ideas for events you want to put on next year's program. The rest of the team and I are already working on the program, so hit us up with all your best ideas, and enjoy tonight's event. Thank you.